Shalom, everyone. Hey, listen, I've been hearing some things in my spirit big time about some things. And I actually have another video that I was going to upload earlier, but then I just never did because I was hearing some things in my spirit. I just felt that reservation. Now, I want to tell you something because we're talking about the mirror. And I talked on, I don't know if it was the video. I think I did upload it, touched very little about it. It was on the necromancy video about that mirror that had gotten shattered. That's why people are so shattered and they're just so broken and they end up doing things because it's all spells and hexes and sorcery and all that kind of stuff. And it is about the mirror being turned around. So what I'm fixing to read is actually happening where I'm at, but it's also a mirror. Because the Creator has to allow information to come forth. I'm not infiltrated with any kind of demonic entities. It's the mirror being turned around upon the demonic entities and people to become awake on purpose. And it's amazing and profound to me what the Creator is telling me in my spirit. Let me write this down real quick before I forget it. For that mirror purpose, because he's got it on my forehead. Because he said that we would actually judge angels. And we're actually judging angels and demons and people. Hold on a minute. I need to turn on my... It's hot in here, so hold on just a second. If you don't mind, just a second. I got my pink and my red on. I'm sure that triggers some people. Good, because I'm getting rid of the demonic entities. Amazing to me that I've been dealing with what's been coming up. Well, let me go back. Today I said that I picked up my number letter card deck earlier this morning, and the J and the L came out. And immediately when I seen it, I said, I heard my spirit, Joel. But later... I did another offline video for all my offline viewers that are watching me. And while I was in another room, I seen I had some fingernail polish, and one of the fingernail polishes was purple and it had gel written across of it. G-E-L. But when I looked at it, I heard in my spirit, Gale. Gale means storm, and I've been talking about storm, but I also got another revelation about it because, you know, and I already had said on my offline video that the Gale read the other way is also leg. But what I also heard was jail. So the J-L being Joel, and I'm also dealing with things being in jail in my own apartment and things like that. So it's either... you're dealing with things that are playing out around you, and we're teaching on this channel of how vibration will manifest itself, because what I said about the root system of that tree and the sorcery in the land being so infiltrated with demonic entities. It's amazing to me what is coming to the surface, and what I'm fixing to reveal to you is powerful because of, again, let me say this. Everything that I have found myself in, it was a trap. Number one, let me establish that, because I've over and over need to establish that, because it was all for learning purposes, where I'm at. I am totally shalom. There are no demonic entities that are within me working and doing demonic entity things. But what I'm fixing to read to you and where I'm at is connected to those things. So you either are, or they're playing around on the opposite side of the mirror to reveal things. And that's huge for me to say what I'm fixing to say. Because I'm literally living in an apartment that I was led to by the enemy on the other side of the mirror, but really it's them looking at it. And I know that's profound, but again, it's one of those complex things that only those who are really getting all this stuff and getting set free from is going to understand. And the demonic entities know it as well. They just want to keep suppressing it, but that's okay. They're getting exposed. I heard years ago, I read this book called Pigs in the Parlor. Now, I've talked on with other people that are connected to the church, because I used to be in the church, and I used to be like a minister within the church on the platform and singer and all that kind of stuff. And all by design, now that I understand all my journey to where I've gotten to right now. But years ago, I read this book called Pigs in the Parlor. And I've already gotten on this channel over and over and talked about things about the pig, the demonic entities going into the pigs. When we read in the New Testament of our scripture, where the man at the tomb who was dead, and I've been talking a lot about the dead today and things coming out of the sea, but this the Christ was looking at this person who was chained in the graveyard and was infiltrated by legions of spirits, dead entities within him, and cast them out, and the spirits begged to go in. Well, if you're going to cast us out, let's put us in the pigs. And they went in the pigs, and they went in the sea. Right? Amazing to me. But anyway, and we've kind of talked about that before on this channel, so those of you who, remember that will remember that. Well, today I kept hearing pigs in the parlor, because the more information the Creator is revealing on purpose, because it's time for people to get set free and chains to fall off, and leaving organizations that's had them change, and now realizing those people aren't really people, they're just demonic entities, and you have power over them. Keeps bringing things up in my spirit, and today I kept hearing pigs in the parlor. And I've had things come up with the JL, meaning also jail, which would go right back to Libra energy, which is supposed to be upright and just. So we're talking about justice systems, and judges. I've also brought up on camera today, offline and possibly online, I don't remember what's been uploaded and what's not, about judges, and going back to the DNA, which is connected to the book of Joel. Oh my gosh, this is so deep. So I kept hearing that pigs in the parlor today. Well, I wanted to know what the root word of parlor actually is. And the root word of parlor means window. Now, we've been talking a lot about the window, and the windows of the soul is the eyes. And your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. And the dead see, or SEA, or the phonics of seeing something. They can literally see into things. So the parlor represents what's on the inside or the outside of what you're looking into or out of. This is deep. So it's referencing to a window. Okay, the parlor is a window through which, but this is what it says about it. And you're going to know what religious organization I'm touching on here. The window through which confessions were made. Also, apartment in a monastery for confession. So that's like, we're talking about a specific church. And the book of Revelation also talks about this church, and it being robed in purple and red and things of that nature, and being drunk on the wine, and the wine can also be connected to blood, and we're dealing with all this stuff. And I'm not going to tell you the name of the church, because you already know what I'm talking about. It's all over the internet. I'm not revealing it. But that church also has daughters that came out of it. Okay, let me just go ahead and tell you, it was the Catholic Church that birthed forth the Protestant churches, and the Revelation talks about all that stuff. But here's the deal, how things play out, and the way that they play out, and the words that are connected to other words, even though they're describing something in a broader sense of something else, it's still, those words are still connected to that situation. So if you find those words in any type of way, shape, or form, there's something about that's connected to that. That's deep. But if my life hasn't already showed you profoundly that that is exactly what happens, then you're just gone. You're lost. You don't have any understanding at all, and you're not real. And we need to get rid of you, because we don't want that kind of stuff in the earth. We want pure things that are written down in a pure motive to take place. But this word parlor is talking about windows through which confession, and they go and say, okay, well, bless me because I've sinned. You don't get blessed because you sinned. forgive me. I need forgiveness to the Father. I need guidance. That's really how it should have been. But anyway, it's a window through which confessions were made. Also, it just says apartment in a monastery for confessions with outside persons. And it also has courtroom, judgment, and DNA, or DAN, which is the acronym, is connected to judges. And I talked about that on one of my videos, either offline or online. I don't remember which one it was, but it's connected to judges. So that's why a lot of this stuff is still touching and connections, some way, shape, or form, playing out within people. Judgment halls, auditoriums, all kinds of things happen within an auditorium. You can sing there, you can give speeches there, you can do plays there. This is huge and it's really deep. Talk about going into the ocean and into the sea. Spiritually, this is deep stuff. And it's very spiritual. And if it's not received in an upright spiritual manner, then you get the opposite end of that. That's why it's important for us to master both sides so that we can have a keen sense of sight through the windows in a positive manner and not the wicked manner. Okay? When I looked at that, it just said 1109, which was 9/11 the other way. That's amazing. Because we're knocking down the tower so that we can rebuild in a positive way, the way the Creator says to, because all things are becoming new. And the way we look at things. The word pig is related to, not only, like I said, bank systems, but it didn't give it the bank systems within the root, but it did give police officers attached to that. And going back to judges and the law, it's all connected. I'm not saying all are that way, but it is connected there. It can be found there in a huge way, because I kept hearing pigs in the parlor. Police officers are supposed to be someone who, is patrolling the land for uprightness, but we have a lot of hunting going on with that. And the demonic entities are within the pigs, within the sea. And the phonics of all of this. That's amazing. So it says that the word for the adults of a pig is swine. So older piggish like people are like swines. In the scripture, a pig is considered a dirty animal. And the medical field will tell you today that it's hard to digest. It's just not good for you to eat. They say that's the other white meat. Well, I'm not a pig or any animal. Do you understand? You better understand. And the demonic entities know it. That's why I'm exposing it. And they've turned a lie into something that they want to call truth, and they're liars. It also had reference to an oblong piece of metal or some type of a large mass. Going to mass. This is pigs in the parlor of those windows. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Why would you want to be blessed because you said, forgive me, Father, because I've sinned, and because you forgive me, I'm blessed. It's a totally different type of a concept. And now I'm not getting on people that have been ignorant to these things, because the Creator sees your heart and why you attend certain things. Because I was blind for many, many years going into this kind of stuff. This is why what we read in the scripture says that in the end days, many people are going to fall away from this stuff because they're going to get a revelation of what's really happening and what they've been really blinded to on purpose. This isn't some kind of strange doctrine that I'm teaching. These are real spiritual things that I'm proving is playing out in this land. Now, I just did a video that, like I said, I haven't uploaded or anything about, what was I talking about on that video? Getting a passport. I had talked about a couple of years ago that the Creator had told me to get my shoes together because I was going to go on a journey. I had no idea. And it's totally been a spiritual journey. But literally in the last couple of days, I've really been hearing to go get another to go get an application and really get a passport this time, because when I went and went to the DMV to take the no donor, didn't want to be a donor anymore off of my driver's license. When I got my new driver's license, it says no real identification on there. But when I looked at it, I was like, no real identification? Why are they saying that this isn't a real identification? Because I got my old ID out where they had punched a void on it, and it didn't have that on there. And my spirit was picking up what I really, because no real identification. The word real was spelt the way we would, not something REAL. But what I heard in my spirit, because I took that off, was no more real. Because it's your new identification, is what I heard. Because there is something to all that, and they know it. It's going to stop. Like I said, the Creator said no more, because actually the land's fixing to literally burn to smithereens, because it's fixing to literally burn. This country is going to burn and go up in literal smoke. And then that ain't no joke, because I proved it physically outside my window how big the sorcery is in this land. And no wonder the Creator said, get a passport and get the hell out of here. I'm getting the hell out, and my children want to go, they can come with me. If not, then they're lost forever, and I can't do anything about that. Not that I don't love my children. They made their own bed. They got to sleep in it. Because this country is the whore that Revelation talks about. That's going to get the judgment to it. The thing that amazes me about this is that the word pig, it also says it was, the derogatory meaning for police officers. And it says it's since about 1811, which all that will break down to the master number 11. And I said when I got pulled over the other day that his his badge said 22, which would be the 1111, and we've been talking about the 1111. That's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. You better wake up. This is. It says that it has been since about 1811 used and connected to that police officer, that pig word. As an underworld slang. That's of the dead. The underworld is of the dead. It's a dead language. It's connected to the dead. It's pigs in the parlor all over the place in this land. It's funny because I just talked about that, coming home to the Father and getting out of the pig slop, even though your neck is dirty. The Father will kiss it and put a ring on your finger and a robe on you if you get out of it. It's time to get out of the land. Because when I looked up about the no real identification, it has to do with you need a real identification such as a passport, because there's something to that. The enemy knows something's fixing to really wrap up. We're really in the Great Tribulation right now. And if you've never heard of what that is, that's just really hard tribulation that I've been finding myself in, but for also salvation for people who've never had any understanding of that. I just needed to get on here and share that, because we're talking about underworld, demonic, dead things that are living. Look, and I'm not getting on to people who are born under that sign. You are not that sign, though it is in the zodiac and you may have been born under it, and those energies are somehow connected to us because they've been spoken all day long, every day through people, because word is spirit. And it goes back to open yourself up and connecting and saying, somebody say, oh, what's your sign? And you say that, and then automatically open it up, and the spirit knows that, and you're in a trap, and now it has a legal right, a legal courtroom, judgment hall, auditorium, auto, hearing, connecting, a legal right to somehow, shape, or form to now give way to some kind of sorcery and make it manifest. That's huge. That's really huge. That is really huge and deep. Because even though it's about the word, it's not about the word either, because it's really about the vibration of the emotion and not even the belief, the knowing of that vibration of what you're speaking and the motive behind it that really gives the real way of manifesting in your life and how it really shows up. And a lot of times people are experiencing things subconsciously in their unconscious mind, agreeing and attaching themselves without knowing it. And now it's time to wake up, and we're moving in from believing something with the word lie within the word believe, and just knowing something's taking place now. Knowing something's changing. Knowing that I got to get in the fresh water and out of the confusion water. Out of the stormy sea where the dead is. That's huge. That's a lot to chew on, but I just want to bring that out. I really want to bring that out, and people need to really understand that America is going to burn because it's so full of sorcery. It's right there on your television, just like I said, that mirror that they just completely, they broke it on purpose because they wanted to shatter everybody's, the mirror of the soul, the eyes are the window into your emotions, your will, and how you feel. They're doing it on purpose to you. And they know they are. And I'm doing it on purpose back to them as that same mirror to say, you're going to eat shit for everything that you did to my brethren. We're leaving this land. And if you want to burn, you go right on ahead, but I'm out of here. Some way, shape, or form, I'm out of here. Because this stuff is literally playing out. Wake up. Share these videos, please. I would sure appreciate it. It's time. It's time to expose the enemy. He's got to be exposed because he's trying to kill people. Like literally take them to the pit of hell and you'll never get out. Ever. Shalom.